Hello students, today we are going to start Standard 7 English Medium Computer subject. Let's start Chapter 1. It is more about the computer. Chapter 2, Advanced Features of Excel. Next, Formulas in Excel. Introduction to Publisher. Graphics in Publisher. More on the Internet. Computer viruses. Starting from scratch. Pivot animator. And possible then we'll conduct the practical exam. Now let's start with the first chapter, more about the computer. As we know, computer has a different parts: input, processing, output, and the main part of the computer is a CPU. CPU is called central processing unit. Inside that the brain is given, means we can say it's a memory. So in this chapter we are going to learn about the memory of the computer. So memory is an essential part of the computer and it is used to store data and instruction. There are mainly two types of the computer memory: primary memory and secondary memory. Primary memory has again two types: RAM and ROM. RAM means random access memory and ROM means read only memory. RAM is volatile and ROM is non-volatile. Again, there are two types of RAM: SRAM and DRAM. SRAM means static RAM and DRAM for the dynamic RAM. Same way, ROM has three types: PROM, EPROM and double EPROM. PROM means programmable read-only memory, electronically programmable read-only memory, and electronically erasable programmable read-only memory. So this is all called the primary memory. And the secondary memory has hard disk, SSD, compact disk, floppy disk and magnetic tape. Okay, so let's begin with the first point: primary or internal memory. The memory which is known as internal memory because the memory which is fixed inside the CPU or the particular device, so that it is called an internal memory. Again, it is only accessible by the computer, so it is called a primary memory. Okay, see, it is fast and direct access by the CPU. Okay, and it's stored inside the CPU, so that it is called a primary memory. Now you can see primary memory has two types: RAM and ROM. So first, RAM means random access memory. It can be only read and write memory. It is temporary storage data because when we start the computer system needs some supporting memory. So this memory is given by the RAM. But when we restart or when we shut down the computer, whatever the information stored inside the RAM will be automatically erased, so that it is called a temporary storage area. Again, it is volatile memory. There are two types of memory: static RAM and the dynamic RAM. In there are variation of the memories there: 2 GB RAM, 4 GB RAM, 8 GB RAM, or even 16 GB RAM of memory is available. And there are different types also: DDR2, DDR3, DDR4. In the market now, DDR4 is used. You can see here the image of the RAM. This is called a RAM. Now next is ROM. ROM stands for read only memory. It can only be read from this. The information which is stored inside the ROM is only can be readable. We cannot erase, we cannot update the information which is stored inside the ROM. Best example of the ROM is your boot system. When we start the computer needs some boot devices. Okay, so this is managed by the ROM. Data may remains the same, means information which is stored inside the ROM cannot be erased. It is also called non-volatile memory. There are three types of the ROM: programmable ROM, erasable programmable ROM, and electronically erasable programmable ROM. You can see here, this is the ROM which is fixed on the circuit, or we can say on the motherboard. So this is called a primary memory. Now next type of the primary memory is a register. Also similar to the ROM. Okay, it helps to increase the system speed. For example, 32 bits register works 32 bit at a time, 64 bits register works on 64 bits at a time, and 128 bits register works on 128 bits at a time. So if you want to increase your system speed, you can change here, you can change the behavior of your system using the different kinds of register. See, you can see here, CPU can access the direct memory by the cache memory. Okay, so the cache memory works on same as a register. To improve your system speed and efficiency, store most frequently used data on the cache. Processor searches information first into the cache memory and then RAM and then other location. Okay, so this is the way CPU, if CPU needs some information directly, it will call to the cache memory. If the information available on the cache memory, then it can retrieve, but if it is not there, then searching for the RAM, and then if it is not available, then it will be called from the secondary devices like hard disk or pen drive. Okay, so this is called a register and the cache memory. Now the next one is next memory type is secondary memory, or we can say external memory. It is used by, see, you can see here that it is used by this user of the computer. Main difference of the primary and the secondary is primary memory is only accessible by the computer, whereas secondary memory is accessible by the computer user. Okay, stored outside the computer motherboard. For example, your pen drive, your external hard drive, it is called a out secondary devices. So first example of the secondary device is hard disk. HDD stands for hard disk drive, made of collection of disks called platters, and it is largest memory compared to all other. The size of the hard disk may be 160 GB, 500 GB, 1 TB, or even 2 TB in the size. Also, there are different types of hard disk are there. This hard disk is fixed inside the CPU or inside the your laptop. This is called portable hard disk, which you can store in your pocket, and when you want to connect it to the CPU, you can directly use the USB port and you can access the USB hard disk also. Okay, now the newer and the fastest version of the hard disk is called SSD, means solid state drive. If you want to increase your system speed or processing speed, you can use SSD instead of the hard disk. Okay, so a newer version of the hard disk run faster than hard disk. You can see the SSD, this is the example of SSD. Okay, so second memory has hard disk, SSD. Compact disk means CD. Okay, so now we are going to learn the compact disk. It is also known as CD. It is in a 4.75 inches in a diameter. It can store up to 700 MB only. Okay, remember, CD can store up to 700 MB only. It has some kind of CD has CDR, means it can recordable only, and CDRW means it can be rewritable. Rewritable means once you have stored inside the CD, then after you can delete the data and also you can again restore the data. That's why I call it is rewritable RW. Okay, next, DVD means digital versatile disk. It can store more data than the CD. Size are same, but it has larger storage capacity than CD. It can store up to 4.7 GB of your data. Next one is floppy disk. In the market, no one uses the floppy disk, okay, because it is made up of magnetic disk. It is in a 3.5 and 5.25 inches in a size, and most important is it can store up to 1.44 MB only. So this floppy disk is replaced by CD and DVD, and right now CD and DVD is replaced by the flash drive, or we can say USB drive. USB means universal serial bus. It is also called a pen drive or USB drive or flash drive. Okay, it is non-volatile, means it can be erased and rewrite, so that it is called a non-volatile. Remember, non-volatile means we can remove and also we can rewrite. Okay, also it is called a plug and play, and in a 2 GB, 4 GB, 8, 16, 32, 64, and even 128 GBs pen drives are available in the market. Okay, next, that is a Blu-ray disc. Blu-ray disc means it is a multimedia DVD. Newer version of the DVD store up to 25 GB of data, and it is specially used for multimedia software and movies. So you can see here. And okay, next one is memory card. There are different memory cards are available, for example in a cameras, mobile phone, tablet, MP3 players. Okay, so you are already familiar with the memory cards. There are different varies in the size: 2 GB, 4 GB, 8, 16, 32, 64, and even 128 GB memory card are available in the market. Now guys, we are going to learn about the computer generations. Okay, so computer generations, there are different generations are there. First generation computer, which are developed during 1940 to 1958, and in this vacuum tubes technology was used. Now the next, that is second generation of the computer, and it is used in 59 to 64, and in that transistor were used. Then after third generation, and it is used 65 to 70, and in these IC means integrated circuit technology was used. And then fourth generation, we can say current generation, and it is 71 to present, and in that microprocessor is using. And the fifth generation, which is future technology, it is called artificial intelligence. So students, we are going to learn this all one by one. Okay, let's start. Generation of the computer. First generation, 1940 to 58. During this generation is called the first generation of the computer. This is the vacuum tube which is used in this kind of computer. They were very large in the size and slow in the processing because it consumed more electricity. John Muesli and J. Presper Eckert designed the ENIAC first computer. The full form of ENIAC was Electronic Numerical Integrated and Computer. Second generation, the computer designed during this time is called the second generation of computer. Smaller than the first generation in the size, transistor were used. This is the size of the transistor, and processing was faster than first generation. It is developed for the universities and government offices. You can see here the second generation of the computer. Now third generation of the computer, during the computer designed during this third generation is called the third generation of the computer. Smaller than the second generation, and IC means integrated circuit is used in the third generation of the computer. You can see this is the picture of this third generation computer, becomes very smaller than the first and second generation. Okay, and also faster than about two. The first computer the first third generation computer, this is the third generation computer designed by the IBM, and the name was S360 series in 1964. Fourth generation means currently we are using the fourth generation of the computer, smaller than the third generation. And the microprocessor chip, you can see this is the microprocessor chip is used inside the fourth generation of the computer. And the first microprocessor was introduced in 15th November 1971 by Intel company. It is also known as VLSI, very large scale integration. Okay, and the fifth generation, it is called present and beyond. It is also known as artificial intelligence or AI. Let's see some example of AI. Me virtual, like you can, if you are at your home and you want to attend the meeting, so you can wear this one and you can present on your meeting place. Driverless car, you can see here driverless car is example of AI. Brain external memory, you can store data, and also you can retrieve information which are stored inside your brain, so it is part of artificial intelligence. Personal drone, people can access their own drone to see something or to catch the particular image or to catch the particular video. And the fifth is body monitoring, you can monitor your body like blood pressure, sugar, and etc. This is called the fifth generation of the computer. There are five generation. Okay, now next is types of computer. There are mainly four types of the computer by their size: microcomputers, mini computer, mainframe computer, and supercomputer. Microcomputers called is personal computer, very smaller in the size, very compact, easy to carry, for example laptop, tablet. Okay, this is called the microcomputer. Second, mini computers, these are called the also called as the server. Microchip used inside these mini computers are replaced by the microcomputers, they are act as an server. Mainframe computer, very large, powerful, and they are very expensive. They can process bulk data processing, for example bank data processing, used for business and civilian government applications. And last one, that is supercomputer. They are very largest and the most powerful, occupy an entire room to sit in the room, process millions of instructions per second, used for code breaking, and first supercomputer introduced in 1960 by Seymour Cray. In India, the first supercomputer developed by India is Pratyush. Okay, you can see here, this is the first supercomputer developed by India, and that was a Pratyush. So there are four types of the computer. Okay, these are the mini computers: desktop, laptop, notebook, hybrid computer, tablet, smartphone. These are called mini computers. Okay, next one is computer languages. There are two types of languages: high level language and the low level languages. The language which is understood by the computer, it is called a low level languages, and the language which is understood by the computer user or man, that is called a high level languages. Low level languages, it contains commands that can be directly processed by the computer without translation. And the high level languages, the structure of this language is much closer to the English language. For example, Basic, COBOL, Fortran, C, C++, Java, .NET, PHP, Python. These are called the high-level languages. These languages are used to create some programs, softwares, and applications, websites, etc. Low-level languages, two types: machine language and assembly language. Machine language means it is only understood by the computer, also known as binary. The program can be written only by 0 and 1. Computer can easily understand machine language, but it is very difficult to code for us. Assembly language, also program written later code. Machine dependent means it depends on the machine. For example, if you have created a code for the computer A, that could only be work on the computer A. If you copy that and paste it to the computer B, then it will be not accessible by the computer B, because it is machine depend on the machine, it will work, and it is very difficult to code again. So there are two types of low level language: machine language and assembly language. Now the software, a set of instructions that perform a particular task, is called a program. Set of programs are called a software. There are two types of this software: system software and application software. System software designed to control operation of the computer system, and it instruct computer to perform system task, copy, moving, etc. That is called a system software. System software as the example like operating system. So master control of the computer system is operating system, like Windows 7, Windows 8, 10, Linux, iOS, Android. These are called the system operating systems, and it is master control of the computer system. Next, compiler translate high level language into machine language. So runs entire program at then translate it. Compiler does translate entire program, run entire program, that it translate, that is called a compiler. Whereas interpreter translate high level language into machine level language, that is called a interpreter. It will translate statement by statement, line by line. And assembler translate assembly language into machine language. So this is called a system software. Now application software designed to help the user perform a specific task, also called an app. For example, package one or more programs into one. For example, Microsoft Office, inside that Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Publisher, Outlook, OneNote, these are all grouped into one, so it is called a package. Microsoft Office is called a package. Then accounting packages, okay, known as a package. Utility software designed to perform maintenance work like backup, antivirus, disk cleanup. These are called the application software. Okay students, we have learned all the types of memory, types of computer, okay, and generation of the computer, okay, and last we have discussed some functions of the computer. So I hope you have understood well this one. After this, I'm going to solve chapter 1 exercise. Thank you. Okay, now chapter 1 exercise. First, fill in the blanks. When you switch off the computer, data stored in dash is lost. Means RAM. Dash software is designed for a specific task. Means application software. Dash is a permanent memory. ROM. A CD can hold up to 700 MB of data. A flash drive is also called pen drive. Now true false. RAM is a read or write memory. True. Hard disk is a volatile storage device. False. There is no difference between CD and a DVD. False. CDs are used to store and distribute software. True. Programs programs written in high-level languages are called source programs. True. Now MCQ. The CPU directly stores and retrieves data from the RAM. Which type of memory is also called volatile memory? RAM. Which of the following is or are controlled by the operating system? All of these. When the computer is run on, the operating system is loaded from the hard disk to the ROM. Which of the following is not a secondary storage device? None of these. Now, question answer. First, what is the need of secondary memory? Primary memory is volatile memory and limited in size. So, secondary memory devices are used to bulk storage of programs and data. Write a short note on a cache memory. Cache memory is a commonly built into CPU. Its purpose is to improve system speed and efficiency. What is the difference between CDR and CDRW? CDR stands for compact disk recordable, whereas CDRW stands for compact disk rewritable. What is software? Name any two type of software. It is a set of computer programs that are needed for running or operating a computer system effectively. Number one, system software, and number two, application software. What is an operating system? Name any two operating system. It is master control programs that runs the program. Windows OS, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, Linux OS, Android OS, iOS. These are the example of operating systems. What is the use of register in a computer? It helps in a system speed by quickly providing data to the ALU and CU. ALU means arithmetic and logic unit and CU means control unit. Now next, differentiate between RAM and ROM. RAM stands for random access memory and ROM stands for read-only memory. It is temporary storage device and it is permanent storage device. It stores data in MBs where it stores data in GBs. It is volatile memory and it is non-volatile memory. It used normal operations and it used for startup processes of computer. Writing data is faster whereas writing data is slower. So this is all about RAM and ROM. Now last, what are the transistors and which generation were used in computer? It is small and more reliable component of second generation computer. So I hope student you understood this exercise and write down this in your notebook. Thank you. Bye.